solemnly swear that I will faithfully
If a prosperous and free democracy can be built in the Philippines upon the ruins of war, the prestige of America, and the American way of life.
La más hermosa lección de diplomacia.
All this kindness, all this courtesy.
They cannot succeed without the support of the people. We cannot succeed without the support of our people.
But I was not fighting for lawyers, but for the people.
Na kagalang-galang na bumubuo sa ika-10 Kongreso.
In times of financial and economic stress,
I, Rodrigo Roa Duterte, fulfill my duties as President of the Philippines.
Maayong gabi sa tanang nagtanaw sa atong programa Politics and Beyond. Ako gihapon si Eric Espina. O sa karong higayuna, magbinisaya ta, pero ang kadaghanan magkuhan kita, magtagawg ta o mag-in-English. Kay kaning atong dinapit nga kahinabi karong adlaw. Kuan man, taga Manila man naas kauluhan. So pasensya na lang mo at magdula-dula lang taglain-lain lingwahe ani pwedeng Tagalog pwedeng in English. So usak ka dakong kalipay nako nga atong maingon natong guest simplehon lang nato wala ilain kun dili dinhi sa Politics and Beyond si Colonel Ariel O. Quirubin, Philippine Navy Marines. Magandang gabi kasi gabi ito makikita and then the next day umaga Colonel Quirubin.
Maayong gabi tayong tanan.
Ayan.
Good evening, Eric.
Yes.
And I'm so happy to be here again.
Yeah. Our pleasure, sir. Our pleasure to have you. Ano lang ito, tickler lang ito, sir, pero sasagutin nyo to sa third portion of the program. Tickler lang ito. And then we will go into your family background because there's a generation of Filipinos that have to be appraised of who you are and what you have done in your lifetime. So, pampaano lang ito, pampagana. Your position on the West Philippine Sea. How should we handle the China question? And then, if we have enough time, we can even talk about the Sabah question. So, sasagutin nyo yun sa bandang huli na.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, yes.
And then, yung nangyari dun sa mga ginagawa ng mga, hindi ko ginagamit yung term na Chinese vessels yung mga barko ng Communist Party of China. Yun ang tawag ko sa kanila kasi hindi naman natin kalaban yung yung sambayan ng China, di ba? So,
yes.
So we'll go now to your family background, Colonel Quirubin. Who are you? Who is your father? Who is your mother?
Well, they say, no, meron daw kaming lineage na mga revolusyonaryo kasi my grandfather really was Apolinario Quirubin, who was a part of the revolution before. In fact, nasa libro rin siya. My dad was he was provincial treasurer of Pangasinan before. Nagkataon lang na nagkasakit siya when he was being transferred to Mountain Province. Nagkaroon ng heart problem, so he had to force retire. Yeah. My mom was a insurance underwriter.
Pangasinan din?
No, at that time she was working sa San Fernando, La Union. So nung hindi na makapagtrabaho yung daddy ko, we had to join my mom in San Fernando. That's why kung titignan nila, my roots are from Ilocos Sur. I was born in Dagupan City.
Okay.
Yeah. I grew up in La Union, studied in Manila. But my roots are from Kawayan, Ilocos Sur.
Okay, so parang GI kayo?
Yes.
GI, genuine Ilocano. Para sa mga
genuine Ilocano. At yun yung yun yung pagkabata ko.
Ano yung O? Kasi middle name yung O.
Yeah, yung O is Oliva. No?
Okay.
Ang Oliva naman, nung nakikita namin na parang hindi siya original from Ilocos Sur.
Okay.
When I saw, nung umiikot na ako para magpasalamat na doon sa dating sinamahan na pagtakbo natin, napunta ako ng Iriga.
Okay.
Nung makita ko, yung dating board member at vice mayor ng Iriga, kamukhang-kamukha siya ng mga tsuhin ko.
Kasi oliba siya.
Kasi oliba siya.
Okay.
So,
ano nyo yung oliba na NBI ngayon? May oliba na NBI dito sa
yes,
Cebu Regional.
Most likely, I am related to them.
Okay.
We have yet to probably trace, no? Kasi, siyempre, yung mga lolo ko sa side ng mother ko, dayo lang din.
Okay.
Kasi may mga oliba sa Masbate,
Oo.
oliba sa... Pero ang tingin ko, mukhang oliba sila na galing ng Bicol.
You have any relatives here in Cebu? By affinity, by long-lost relationships?
Yes. Meron mga kerubin dito sa Mandaue na trinitrace nila nung buhay pa si General Romulo Kerubin. Ano naman talaga is, yung ninuno nila came here as a public school superintendent.
Okay.
And of course, nung makita nila ako doon sa reunion nila, because I was invited
Okay.
as a guest of honor and speaker, when they saw me, sabi nila, uy, kamukha siya ng lolo.
Okay.
So they started tracing their roots sa Kawayan, Ilocosur.
Okay,
So
so,
they all came from Kawayan, Ilocosur.
na marunong ng mag-Cebuano ngayon?
Cebuano.
Cebuano na ngayon talaga.
Ang alam nila,
Oo.
taga Cebu talaga sila dahil
Okay.
dito na sila, ilang generations na dito na.
So you have roots also here in Cebu. You are all over the place, in short. You have
Yes.
so many relatives.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. How was Ariel Kerubin as a child? Were you precocious? Were you mischievous? Ikaw ba yung napapalo palagi ng tatay? O ikaw yung pinakamabait? How would you describe yourself?
I was adventurous. I mean, mischievous.
Mischievous, okay.
Sabihin na natin.
Oo.
Maliit pala ako, risk-taker na ako.
Okay.
So, yung sabing palaging napapalo, hindi man ako kasi bunso ako eh.
Okay.
Ang pinapalo yung nag-aalaga sa akin kasi hindi nila makontrol eh.
Okay. Okay.
So, one time, yung kuya ko nga, nasa Lingayen, Pangasinan kami. I was, I think, 3-4 years old. So, laro ako ng laro na ganyan. Pag akyat ko ng bahay, di ba may yung kerosene noon
Yes,
na
yes, yes.
ginagamit pa
Oo, yes, yes.
Yung kusinilya.
Oh yes,
Di ba?
may gaas yun.
Ngayon, yung may bote na lalagyan ng kerosene. You know, dahil sa I was so thirsty, ininom ko yun.
Ininom.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
Well, nung nakita raw ako, may ikot-ikot na yung mata ko, lasing na ako eh.
Okay.
So that's probably the reason why my growth was stunted. Yung kuya ko, is 6 3/4, malaking mama.
Matatangkad, okay. How many brothers and sisters are you in your family?
Sa first nuptial, there were three boys.
Okay.
Namatay yung isa. Sa second nuptial naman, 4 kami. 2 boys and 2 girls. The first wife of my dad was the older sister of my mom.
Okay.
Na namatay.
Very interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Yung mga kapatid ko, we carry the same middle name. Yeah.
So, ito, I would ask, were you closer to one particular brother? Were you closer to your mother? Were you closer to your father? Which one were you? Were you the boys closer to your mother or?
Well, ako naman dahil naman tayo, sabihin na natin na dahil bunso ako, I was closer to my dad.
Okay.
Yeah, but later on dahil nga sa ang mamang na nagdadala ang breadwinner.
Okay.
So unti-unti naman napalapit ako lalo na nung nauna namatay yung dad ko. So I was close with to my mom.
How about brothers or any sister?
Yeah, I still have 2 sisters. One is in LA and the other one is in the province in La Union.
How would you describe your life? Was it naghihirap ba kayo or you were just able to go through with enough?
Well, I must say there was a time na
mahirap.
Ginawan ako ng shoebox ng papang.
Okay.
So rin ako. Nagsashine din ako.
Nagsushine kayo?
Yes. And
so nasubukan nyo yan, magsushine?
Yeah, yes. And my older brother na pumasok sa PMA, nagtitinda ng ice cream.
Okay.
So meaning, galing kami sa hindi man mahirap, kundi
sapat lang.
Sapat lang, pero tinaguyod kami ng mga magulang namin. Nakapag-aral kami lahat.
How many in the family went into the military? Was it your brother went to military school? That's what you said. Oh.
Yes, he belongs to class 73.
Okay.
But he died 2 years ago.
Okay.
So ano naman na siya.
So dalawa pala kayong nag-PMA?
Dalawa kami. Dalawa.
Okay. Was it because of him that you decided to become a military man? Was it the influence of your father, your mother?
It was really not an influence of my brother, but it was I was a student activist.
Okay.
When martial law was declared.
No, huwag mo muna sagutin yan. Ito muna itatanong ko sa inyo. Life lessons, payo na natatandaan ninyo mula sa papang ninyo at sa mamang ninyo na hindi mo makakalimutan hanggang ngayon.
Well, sabi ni Papang noon, if you want to get rich, don't ever enter the government.
Okay.
Yun ang sabi sa kabilin-bilinan eh.
Okay.
Kaya nung pumasok kami sa PMA, galit na galit siya.
Okay.
Kasi sabi niya, you can never if you want to get rich, don't ever enter the government.
So 2 times siya nagalit kasi dalawa sa inyo pumasok sa PMA.
Yes.
Sinermonan kayo.
Well, wala na rin siya magawa.
Kasi nandyan na.
Naandyan na eh. Iba-ibang reasons naman kung bakit kami pumasok sa PMA.
How about your mother? Any advice from your mother?
Ang advice naman ng mamang nung araw eh. Sabi niya, Ariel, ka lang, magpakabait ka lang kasi malikot ako masyado eh.
Mm-hmm.
And always have faith in the Lord.
What was your favorite game? Nung bata ka? Basketball? Tumbang preso?
Hindi, ako noon eh. Mahilig na tayo.
Sa boxing?
Yung mga bully noon sa klase, ako yung pinagtatapat nila.
Okay.
Na parang ako
parang yung vanguard.
Yung
Savior.
Protector nung naapi.
Ng mga naapi.
So naghahamonan kami nun sa yung papuntang capital ng La Union. May magandang may malaki-laking space doon. Doon kami nagsusuntukan. Yeah. So yun ang sport ko na alam na
At what point, what school did you come from, by the way? Grade school?
I studied grade 1 in Project 6 Elementary School. That was the time na nagre-recover.
Project 6, that's Quezon City?
Quezon City.
Oh, Quezon City.
Okay. Nagre-recover pa lang si Papang sa sakit niya noon.
Okay.
Nung okay na siya, we transferred to San Fernando, La Union.
Okay.
So from grade 2 to grade 6, Christ the King Elementary School.
And then high school?
High school, dahil mabarkada ako, pinalipat nila ako sa Manila. So I studied in University of the East High School.
UE?
UE.
Did you join any fraternity in UE? Wala naman?
Wala naman, pero...
May mga nagyayaya?
Hindi, kasi high school yan eh. Pero I was so active with PNP, little did they know na dahil very adventurous ako eh.
So PMT is probationary military training. PMT.
Yeah,
Okay.
PMT.
Okay.
So akala nila talagang pansundalo. Hindi nila alam na sumasali rin ako sa mga rally.
Okay. Your youngest memory in terms of your crushes. Kasi people want to see the human side of Ariel Kerubin kasi palaging ano yung mga crushes ninyo high school or
I honestly hindi ako masyadong noon sa yung mga crush ganyan.
Wala kayong mga crush?
Oo, masyado akong
seryoso masyado?
Seryoso na hindi mabarkada ba?
Mabarkada.
I started early na manigarilyo, mag-inom.
Okay. So kung wala kayong crush, girlfriend ka agad?
Hindi ka nga marunong
So hindi walang okay. So how young were you nung nagka-girlfriend kayo?
Actually, graduate na ako ng PMA.
Saka pa kayo nagka-girlfriend? Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Pag-graduate pa lang.
Pag-graduate na lang?
Pag-graduate pa lang.
So pwede pala kayo magpare nun bago kasi kung gano'n kasi wala kayong...
Hindi, muntik na rin. Kasi yung ibang barkada ko, pumasok ng Christ the King Seminary.
Okay.
Yun din ang gusto ko sana papasok.
Gusto nyo sana magpare?
Hindi naman siguro ako magpapare kasi wala sa ugali ko na Gusto ko lang din na may kasama yung mga barkada ko.
I see. Okay. So you were almost graduating from PMA bago kayo nagka-girlfriend, ha?
Yes.
Wow. That's a story by itself. Now, at one point in your life, did you think, wow, gusto ko pumasok sa sa PMA, gusto ko rin magsundalo katulad kay Kuya. I mean, how was it in your mind? How did you process the entire intention?
Well, it was really, nung nag-declare na martial law, sabi nung pinsan ko na suspended. Dati class 73 siya, naging class 74. Ariel, sabi niya, walang mangyayari sa buhay mo kung ganyan na pasama-sama ka sa mga
Barkada?
rally, mga ganyan.
Rally, okay.
Kumuha ka na lang ng pasok ka na lang sa PMA.
Okay.
Si Manong, yung kuya ko, graduating naman siya, class 73.
Oo.
So, ayaw niya ako na pumasok kasi nga, notorious din siya, hazer siya.
Okay. Okay.
So, papahirapan ako talaga, sabi niya.
Pwede ba yun na yung kapatid mo rin ang magpapahirap sa inyo? It doesn't happen. Iba ang gagawa niyan.
Nung napunta na ako sa PMA, reception, April 1, 1973.
Oo.
Malay ko ba na yung pinsan na nagkumpinsi sa akin, hinablot niya yung uniforme ko na, tanggal yung 3 botones.
Oo.
Pinapulot niya sa akin,
Oo.
tapos pinasubo, pinalulun sa akin.
Yung pinsan nyo?
Pinsan ko.
Oh my goodness. We're going to pause for a few reminders. Pagbalik na ito, ato ni padayon ni atong panghinabi kang Colonel Ariel Quirubin. And then pagkutan na nag-Marines mo ni siya. Nga wa siya nag-Army, wa siya nag-Air Force. Sa pagbalik sa Politics and Beyond. Okay, nagbabalik po ating programang Politics and Beyond. Ako pa rin po si Eric Espina. Kausap pa rin natin si Colonel Ariel Oliva Quirubin, Philippine Navy Marines. Okay, hindi kayo nabigla. Kadugo nyo, yung pa ang humablot sa uniforme ninyo or sa damit ninyo?
Masakit nung una kasi sabi nga niya who told you you are my cousin?
Ganun kagad?
Shock din kasi reception niya.
Yes.
Kumbaga sa others, yung mga squadmate ko nga, may resigning na, may umiiyak na. Ako youngest ng klase. I entered PMA 17 years and 3 days old.
But dumiretso ka agad kayo from high school to PMA?
From high school to PMA.
Kasi yung iba, nagmamapuwa muna,
yes,
tapos para makapasok. But you didn't need to do that.
Yes.
Ibig sabihin, matalino na talaga kayo sa high school.
Well, hindi ko masabi. Mga classmates ko, pag na-reunion namin, nagtataka kami dito kay Ariel kasi pagpapasok sa school, Katleya, notebook lang yun.
Yung plastic, yung plastic maraming laman na
nakalagay doon sa bulsa.
Oo.
Tapos yung kamay niya, puro tisa.
Kasi
galing
sa bilyaran.
Nung kumuha siya ng entrance exam sa PMA, take 1. Pasado na siya, high school pa.
Did you think you were going to pass right away?
I really...
Or subok lang?
Sinubukan ko lang.
If in case hindi kayo nakapasok sa PMA, what would you have taken?
Well,
magpapari kayo?
Hindi naman. I passed the UPCAT.
Okay.
I also passed the Mapua entrance exam.
Nag-activist kayo. What do you mean by activist?
I was never an ideologue.
I see.
I was just, sabihin na natin,
principal,
adventurous. I was risk taker. Ano naman siya, no? But early on, I really felt, I sensed na my idealism is being exploited.
Okay.
So that was one of the reasons why I opted to take the entrance sa exam at i-cut ko na, i-sever ko na yung ties ko with the student activism. Yeah.
Okay. How was PMA for you? Very briefly, how was it? How was the experience? Was it enriching?
Well, it was really in PMA where my values were formed.
Okay.
You know, it was PMA really who molded me into what I am now. He changed me from, yung sabi nga nila na...
Did it make you more a disciplined, mischievous child? Or did it make you how was that?
Yeah, ano pa rin, no? Kasi I was still a risk taker.
Malikot pa rin yung isip niyo.
Yeah, kasi alam mo yung PMA, pang-6 na taon lang yan 4 na taon yan.
Okay.
It took me 6 years May isang case ako na I was incoming battalion commander of the plebe detail.
Okay.
Battalion commanders of the plebe detail eventually becomes the baron of the class.
Okay.
So I'm not presumptuous to say I would have been a
The
baron.
baron, yes.
So
May ginawa kayo in short.
I brought 12 liters of Ginebra San Miguel on my birthday.
Okay.
So I was caught. So
Okay.
sabi ng commandant namin, si Colonel Tapia, Ariel, sabi niya, I know, Mr. Kerubin, if he will suspend you 1 year for each battle, are you willing to come back?
Yung Colonel Tapia, sir, ito yung yung medyo chinito na konti.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Sige,
He was
sige.
our commandant.
Yes.
No more, sir, sabi niya.
Okay.
So I was dismissed.
So you were dismissed?
I was dismissed in indefinite suspension.
Okay. How were you able to revive yourself, resurrect yourself, and proceed, continue with your...
Well, I was already working with, I decided to work with Metrocom then,
yes.
probably to pursue, pag nakaipon ako, I want to pursue my college degree.
Okay.
Engineering, any engineering course.
Okay.
No? And then all of a sudden, I was recalled. Yeah.
So tuloy-tuloy na yun.
Yeah.
You mentioned about a girl just before you graduated. Did you end up... Ang alam ko kasi sa mga nababasa ko, karamihan sa mga kadete, pag mag-graduate na, nagpapakasal ka agad eh.
Well, yeah, sort of, pero ano naman.
Girlfriend lang?
Yeah. Ano yun, maselan na very complex.
Complex, okay.
Complicated.
Okay. So, how many children do you have now?
I have 7 children.
7 children, wow. You were busy.
Very busy. It's a yours, mine, ours.
Okay,
thing, no?
okay.
My first wife was a surgeon.
Okay.
She was the one who, she was part of the surgical team who operated on me for 13 hours.
Okay.
So, dun ko na na-meet sa ospital siya.
Okay.
But she died in 1994.
Because?
Unexplained primary pulmonary hypertension. Sabi nila, hindi kaya sa consumption, Ariel?
Dahil
hindi naman sa akin.
How was that as a husband?
Well, it was painful to me kasi she left me with 2 beautiful kids. My eldest son was only 1 year, 9 months old.
Okay.
And my second, my only daughter, our only daughter was only 7 months old.
Walk us through the emotion. You've seen your soldiers die, your closest comrade in arms dying in front of you. How is the emotion of the pain when you lose a wife?
Yeah, it's so painful that even Father Jero Orbos told me, Ariel, the sooner you forget your wife, the better for you and your children.
Okay.
So they saw siguro na I was so devastated na So I
as a husband and as a soldier, you could tell the nuances, the slices of pain regarding your wife and the people who die in front of you.
Well, you know what? Soldiers really are always away from their loved ones.
Okay.
No. Ganon din yung case namin yung pinagdadaanan ko noon, no. I was running after the abductors of Father Nacorda in
Nacorda,
Basilan.
yes.
So nabanlian yung panganay ko, si Alfred. Hindi ako nakauwi. Almost a month na may
Your wife, yes.
Hindi, yung son ko.
Your
may
son, okay.
1 year, 9 months old na son.
Okay.
Nabanlian ng tubig.
Okay.
Mainit.
Mainit, okay.
Hindi ako makauwi.
Okay. Despite that?
Yes. So, tuloy-tuloy lang ako. Until finally, nakabakasyon ako. Day before I was to go back to the field, namatay yung wife ko.
Wow.
Yeah. So, ibalik natin uli na it's so hard ba sa mga sundalo na they're always away from their loved ones and then risking their lives, no? Pagkatapos, wala naman sila mga overtime pay. Ganun ang sakripisyo ng mga sundalo.
I know of a soldier, na hindi ko lang magitin ang pangalan, yung pamilya niya, buong pamilya niya nag-crash sa aeroplano.
Yes, I know.
I got to talk to him and he said, naging ninong ako sa kasal niya.
Yeah,
Sinabi niya sa akin, muntik na daw siya masira ang ulo.
Yeah.
But you were able to move on like he did. And you were able to meet
yes,
your current wife.
Yeah, sabi kasi sa akin ni Father Jerry Orbos, Ariel, the sooner you forget your wife, the better for you and your children.
Okay.
Just the same. I went back to the field. No? After na mahuli namin lahat yung mga Abu Sayyaf, turned them over to the PNP. No? Yan sila Jan Jalani, Bruno, yes. Edwin Angeles, and many others.
Your previous wife was si Dr. Lori. Ngayon,
yes.
it is... tell us, how is she in any way connected to Cebu?
Well, sabi ko nga, yung natutunan ko,
Oo.
sabi nila, uy, Ariel, alam mo, ang tingin ng tao sa'yo, ang tapang, sobrang tapang mo, no? Parang, sabi ko, talagang, matapang na harapin ko ang kinabukasan ko, matapang ako na paglabas ko ng bahay, sa sobrang tapang ko, kahit sino humarap sa akin, makikipaglaban ako. Kasi sa bahay, mas matapang yung misis ko.
Okay.
Dahil waray siya.
Waray. Okay.
Waray siya.
Oo.
Na, ayun din, kaya pabalik-balik ako na pwedeng sabihin na natin na by choice, Cebuano rin ako.
Yes.
Kasi
And you really have relatives anyway here.
Yeah, and then my parents-in-law really, they fell in love here sa Cebu.
Okay.
My dad, my father-in-law was a lawyer, no?
Okay.
At that time, law student siya.
Oo.
My mother-in-law was in interna, magmamadre sana. Nagkita sa Cebu, tapos kaya ang Cebu, kahit anong sabihin mo, pwede na akong by choice, Cebuano ako.
Pwede na kayong, so in short, yung mga Cebuano pwede na rin po lumapit sa inyo just in case humingi ng tulong or whatever way para
all the time.
Kasi wala kaming dito, we hardly have any real any figure in the national level except for Secretary Cristina Frasco, but in the national level wala talagang mga Cebuano kami dito.
All the time naman, kahit sabi nga nila tapos na yung aking obligasyon as a father, diba? Pwede naman sabihin natin na maging father tayo ng bansa.
So you can adopt the Cebuanos also and the people of the Visayas.
Yeah, everybody, no?
Senator Grace Poe has described you as a soldier, a warrior, a fighter, kasama sa sa sinol niya, your life story is entertaining, insightful, educational. And to cap off that statement, you have been in the service for 30 years and you have 67 wounds. 67 ang iyang mga samad. Please, give us an idea what... Kasi alam nyo, yung isang oras is not enough. Alam mo, dapat yung buhay nyo gawing teleserye sa isang
Yung wounds na sinasabi nila, shrapnel wounds yan.
67
shrapnel wounds. No?
Sa buong katawan ninyo?
Yeah, kung titignan nila, yung mga scars na ganyan, yan, lahat.
Okay.
Lahat. These are all, Pero kung meron kang cut down, ibig sabihin, nag-flatliner ka.
So you died? That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
You died?
Yeah.
Nag-flatline kayo sa...
Yes.
Sa life
So my
monitoring?
pancreas got ruptured, a portion of the left lobe of my liver, and 6 feet of my small intestines were cut off.
Okay.
Yeah. So, nagtataka sila na bakit yung Ariel ngayon kaya pang gumawa ng 280 push-ups.
280 push-ups?
Non-stop push-ups.
Pero ang maganda dyan, mahilig kayo sa aso.
Mahilig din ako sa aso.
Mahilig sa aso. Kasi maraming mga mahilig sa aso din
Diba? Mahilig ako sa aso.
Okay.
During the pandemic, even nung unang pagkakulong ko, yung warden ko mahilig sa aso.
Oo.
So sabi niya, Ariel, mahilig ka rin ba sa aso? Ako lang mag-isa doon sa sprawling na AAP Custodial Center. Yes, sir, sabi niya. O sige, anong aso mo? Sir, bibili pa lang po ako.
Oo. Okay.
So, pagbili ko na Rottweiler. And then, he invited me sa mga dog shows.
Nagkagusto kayo sa aso dahil doon?
Oo. Pagpunta namin ng Alabang, siyempre, escorted ako. Daming escort
Oo.
Hanggang sa paglipat namin doon sa may World Trade, dito sa Pasay na, nagkusyoso yung mga tao na, sinong VIP ang kasama ni binabantayan nyo? Sabi ng mga gwardiya ko, si sir, ma'am, very important prisoner.
Okay. Pero,
so, napahilig ako sa aso. I bred dogs.
Okay.
Working dogs, no?
Okay.
Meron akong Rottweiler, may Boxer, meron akong Great Dane.
Mga malalaking aso talaga?
Yan, Labrador Retriever.
Wala kayong German Shepherd?
Hindi ako
mahilig sa German Shepherd?
Hindi ako mahilig sa furry, yung mabalay.
Okay, gusto nyo yung, okay.
Yung smooth coat.
Okay. Okay. Ang dami niyong medalya. You have 49 medals. 49 kabuk ang medalya sa atong kahinabay karon. And above all, you're a Medal of Valor awardee and you're alive.
Yes.
Because am I right to say that most of the awardees of the Medal of Valor are usually posthumously awarded by their
yes.
to their wives or their children?
Yes, that's true. The two recently awarded Medal of Valor recipients were killed in action in Marawi.
Okay.
So they were, bihira kasi yung nabubuhay na binibigyan ng award na.
That's very rare.
Yes, yes.
Kung babasahin natin yung talambuhay ninyo, you've been into a lot of operations. Pati kay Grace and Burnham na kasama kayo doon. Just give us the number of operations that you were involved in.
Mahaba natin.
Huwag niyo na lang i-mention kasi i-google na lang nila yan. So,
yes,
what are these operations that you were involved in?
I rescue una 1981. We neutralized the dreaded provincial chair, the CPP-NPA, Jesse Rafael, just at the back of Abukay Municipal Hall. That's a question that I want to find out. Bakit yung opisina ng committee na ito doon sa Abukay nandun lang sa likod ng Municipal Hall sa pagbalik sa Politics and Beyond? Okay, you're back with us in Politics and Beyond. I'm still Eric Espina. We're still talking to Colonel Ariel Oliva Quirobin, PN, Navy Marines. By the way, hindi ko yung natanong sa inyo, bago tayo pumunta dun sa, yung sa Abukay, bakit Marines po pinili ninyo? Nung suspended ako as a cadet, I work with, Metrocom.
Yes.
Ngayon, nagkaroon ng hijacking sa Zamboanga, kung saan nasunog yung Bac 111. Remember, 1976.
Yeah.
So, kami mga kadete noon, pinag-aral kami ng Special Reaction Operation Course. That was the first hijacking course in the Philippines.
Okay.
Kinuha namin yung mga veterans ng Entebbe, right at Entebbe,
yes,
mga Israelis. No?
Yes.
And we took pa yung mga Marines na members, mga Olympian members
shooters.
Na shooters.
Shooters.
Art Macapagal.
Yes.
Sila Maclang.
Si Art Macapagal is the son of
of the
President Diosdado Macapagal.
The brother of
yes.
PGMA. So noon ang gagaling nila. So sabi ko, nung gagraduate na ako,
gusto niyo maging Marines na?
Marines na ako.
Okay. Balikan natin ngayon sa Abukay. Paano nagkataon na yung headquarters mismo nandun sa likod ng munisipyo?
Doon nyo makikita na yung panahon na yan, ang center kasi ng CPP-NPA, ng insurgency, was in Bataan.
Mm-hmm.
So, doon mo rin makikita na even the policemen were already sympathetic to them.
Okay.
Kasi isipin mo, likod lang ng munisipyo.
Hindi, baka sila pa nagmo-monitor kung ano ginagawa ng munisipyo?
Most likely.
Okay. How did you get your Medal of Valor?
Yeah,
very briefly, sir, so that marami tayong matapik.
Yes.
Makuha.
Nakuha ko yung Medal of Valor na yan sa Kauswagan.
Okay.
My unit was tasked right after I liberated Kauswagan. Sabi nila, we have to maintain the momentum. So let's run after them. I asked my commander na sabi ko, pwede ba sir, makaligo man lang kami kasi we just came from Palawan, no? Sabi sa akin Ariel, wala na tayong panahon, no? We have to keep the pressure. So right after lunch ng March 18, 2000, naglakad na kami. And then nung malapit na kami, by around 6 o'clock, malapit na kami doon sa sinasabi nilang kampo ng MILF. Biglang may natumbang puno, inambush na kami.
Okay.
So, firefight went on, running
24 hours?
24 hours.
24 hours, yes.
24 hours.
Yes.
And then, a embedded journalist was with us, DJ Santa Ana.
Yes.
So, I told him, sabi ko, DJ, hindi ko na kayo kayang protektahan kasi kami mismo, sabi niya, sir, kaya nga ako nag-volunteer kasi I really want to see action. And then namatay yung isang officer ko sa likod ko. That's the time na nakita namin na we were encircled.
Okay.
So yung katawan ni the late Don Javier was brought to the armor vehicle na sinasakyan ni DJ.
Was that
Doon
sniper?
namatay.
Was that sniper fire? Or?
Sniper.
Okay.
Sniper. Kasi yung machine gun nest, kung saan din naandun din yung snipers nila, nung nakita ko na tinamaan na
siya
sa likod, alam ko na napaikutan na kami. And then sumunod doon, yung dalawa nasa yung
sa
mga
tabi nyo?
katabi ko na.
Okay.
Yeah. So yung isang security ko na sniper din, sabi niya, sir, na-compromise na yung position mo. So lipat tayo na So paglipat ko, lahat ng puntahan ko, doon nakapuntirya
yung firing.
Yung
They identified you, kayo ang talagang
Yes,
official.
na ako
They could
yung-
identify you.
Yeah, akong commander nila. Kasi they were using night vision goggles.
Meron sila nun.
Meron sila nun.
Wala.
Kasi, di ba, the ceasefire really gave them time to refurbish,
Okay.
modernize too.
Oo.
Yeah.
This is really the frailties of 1-hour television kasi talagang ang hirap ipasok ang buong buhay ni Colonel Quirubin sa loob ng isang oras. So we're trying to get as much snippets as possible, but this won't be the last time. People want to know, it's in the front headlines, West Philippine Sea. What's the position of Colonel Ariel Quirubin? Kasi, well, it's public knowledge. Gusto kayong ilagay as either PIDEA noon ni Senator Grace Poe had she made it as president or defense secretary. So ngayon, if the current administration is listening and they're in a position to listen to you and say, ano kaya ang tingin ni Colonel Ariel Quirubin doon sa West Philippine Sea?
Ibalik ko kayo sa nakaraan in the early 80s, late 70s and early 80s, ang nagmaman ng mga isla na yan, Marines yan.
Okay.
And the defense plan then was, they call it hammer and anvil.
Okay.
Hammer was the enemy.
Okay.
Anvil yung Marines na
Okay.
nandun.
Uh-huh.
So meaning, the Marines manning those islands really were determined to die with their boots on, defending those
Okay.
islands. So, I hope, kaya sinasabi ko na sana, ganun ka-patriotic yung mga sundalo natin.
Okay.
Na ngayon, binubuli tayo. Sana, ganun pa rin, kung ganun kami ka-passionate nung panahon na yon na magpapakamatay kami. Kahit naman ito, when push comes to shove,
You're thinking now as Colonel Ariel Quirubin. I'm asking Secretary Ariel Quirubin, kung DND Secretary kayo, what would you tell the President?
well, we have to really, we have to upgrade. Yung capability natin nag-deteriorate.
Okay.
We have to modernize. We have to accept na kung ganito pa rin ang ating armed forces, wag na tayong umasa na kaya natin tapatan yung, kasi hindi man tayo makipaggera, pero at least pag binuli ka, kaya mo naman na yung sabi ko nga na
yung
unbill ba na
what you're saying, Colonel Quirubin, is that kahit payat ka, bugbugin ka, pero nakipaglaban ka, rerespetuhin ka rin.
Yes.
Ng bully. That's what you're saying, di ba? Hindi ba ding blooded ang nose, pero nakipaglaban?
Oh yeah, pero hindi naman tayo darating sa ganon.
Okay.
Kasi sa totoo lang, sa ngayon, wala naman tayo talagang capability.
Are you saying dapat manindigan tayo?
Yeah, dapat manindigan tayo. When we say, this is ours, gera ba yan? Hindi. We have to assert na atin yan. We have really to protect our sovereignty.
Okay. So, how should we deal with yung mga bullying na ginagawa ng China, yung mga barko na ganyan, and then, of course, yung BRP Sierra Madre, what should we do there? Do we need to refurbish it?
We should.
Okay.
Kasi alam mo kung sino yung mga naandun, mga Marines yun.
Yes.
Yeah, so sa akin, kung siguro darating ang araw, sasama rin ako na magre-refurbish. Kabaro ko yung mga Marines yung mga nandun sa
May tanong ko lang sa inyo, did you ever think of one day visiting BRP Sierra Madre?
Yes.
Colonel Ariel Quirubin goes to BRP Sierra Madre.
Yeah, well, one of these days. Let's
diba?
Plan it out.
Pupunta kayo doon, ano? Ano ho ba dapat talaga gawin natin sa BRP Sierra Madre? Aside from refurbishing it, kailangan may isa pang barkong i-ditch dyan or ayusin yung reef na yan? What should we do?
Yeah, we have to probably think out of the box, no, na kasi hangga't gaya niyan, even yung pag-asa natin pagka military yung nagre-refer, nag-ano dyan may kine-question nila Pero ba't hindi natin gayahin yung ginawa ng Malaysia sa shallow reef nila? Di ba, initially, nung kinuha nila, it was a diving resort. And then later on, nakita natin, meron ng helipad. And then later on, naging base na siya.
Maitanong ko po sa inyo, no? Secretary Kirubin, kasi Defense Secretary ngayon, you're thinking of Secretary. How come the other countries in West Philippine Sea have improved many of the reefs? Bakit tayo napahuli?
Ito nga ang nangyari dyan Noong there was a time na yung Mischief Reef nakuha na nila. May encounter kami sa MTA, CPP-NPA, Quezon, Palawan. So that's west, di ba? Fronting may Mischief Reef. Na-recover namin yung laptop. Ang nakalagay doon strengthened foothold along the shorelines. What do they mean by that? NPA ito So meaning, yung shoreline na yan, fronting Mischief Reef, kasi Mischief Reef is a good transshipment point for arms, for everything. Remember, our secessionist really, nag-start yan with Pakistan supplying them with firearms. Pakistan, ano ba Pakistan? Di ba surrogate ng China?
Yes.
Yung CPP-NPA natin, inspired by Mao, China pa rin.
Yes.
So ginulo lang tayo ng China, nagkaroon tayo ng insurgency, pinull out lahat ng Marines doon para habulin yung mga to, napabayaan natin yung isla, wala na rin masyadong nagpapatrolya.
Would it be safe to say that ang nauuna o nasusunod dito sa ating foreign policy in terms of national defense and national security ay ang mas pinapabora ng Department of Foreign Affairs kaysa binibigyan ng paa at dibdib yung Department of National Defense? Kasi any improvement sa West Philippine Sea, parang palaging sinasabi ni DOE, provocative, it might incite China. Is that the right attitude?
Hindi, sa akin hindi. Kasi from the point of view, kunwari ng DND o ng Armed Forces, dapat hindi ganon.
Hindi ganon, ano?
Yeah. Hindi ganon.
Ano tingin ng Communist China sa atin? Pag ganito ang palaging response natin?
Alam nila kayang-kaya tayo. Kasi wala naman tayong ginagawa Yung ibang bansa, binabangga nga yung mga fishing vessels nila.
Bakit nagagawa ng ibang vessels ang banggain sila? Wala namang gerang nangyayari. Bakit hindi kaya ng Pilipino na banggain din sila? Kasi wala din namang gerang nangyayari. What's happening to the narrative? Dinadaga tayo? Dinadaga ba ang Pilipino?
Hindi mo dapat tanungin sa akin. Tanungin natin sa kanila. Kasi kung tayo kunwari,
how would student Ariel Kirubin deal with the bully?
Ganun kasi ko na di ba? Parang yun ang
diba?
Kinalakihan ko parang ito, akin yan. Lagay ko rin yung pa ako dyan, di ba? So ganun lang din naman yan.
Kailangan ganyan.
Yeah, ano lang din.
What happens kung ang isang bansa o isang estudyante hindi marunong lumaban? Hindi ko sinasabing kailangan manalo hindi marunong lumaban. Ano nangyayari?
Kung subservient ka palagi, binubuli ka palagi nila.
Okay.
Pero magpakita ka. Ngayon, sa mga interviews nila, even sa mga hearing, nakikita ko naman sa armed forces natin ngayon na we are preparing. We are preparing. Meaning, meron silang plano. Kung paano nila gagawin yan, alangan naman sasabihin ko kung ano yung plano ko. But the fact is, we are being, the armed forces is preparing for any contingency.
You are also involved with the MILF. Meron kayong medyo bakbakan. Wika nga. Okay. Nakigbisog sila sa MILF. May mga official sa AFP who will quietly say na, alam nyo, yung problema talaga sa Mindanao, sa MILF at MNLF, is all about Sabah. Would that be a correct assumption?
Partly siguro.
Sabah, kasi takot ang mga Malaysians na lumakas ang AFP at baka
kunin natin
ulit. Would that be a fair assessment?
Well, kahit na nung sabihin natin, ganun talaga ganun ang lumalabas di ba? Ang Sabah, may claim talaga yung Sultanate of Jolo, Sulu, di ba? And nanalo nga sila
Yes.
Sa kaso nila.
Bago lang, nanalo sila. Yes, okay.
So meaning, yun ang worry nila na pagka okay na yung military rin natin at baka we'll still pursue our claim.
Oo. Kasi nung nanalo sila, siguro napansin ng mga manonood, mga nagtanaw na to, yung presidente ng Malaysia biglang bumisita ng Pilipinas
Yeah.
pagkatapos manalo yung mga heirs ng Sulu, no? Sulu,
Yes,
no?
yes.
So, would it be fair to say therefore that Malaysia is also very crucial in the equation, that they are in one way or form involved with the secessionist movement in Mindanao?
Ano yan, mga intelligence report lang, ang mga intel officer lang pwedeng magsabi na kasi sa mga laymans o yung mga ordinaryo na hindi naman nila nakikita na ganyan. Pero sa mga
Sila nakakakita.
Nakakita na kung pansinin natin, even the military observers, di ba, Malaysia yung mga pinapadala.
Yes, yes.
Malaysian military observers. So talagang talagang
may basihan.
May basihan din naman.
Colonel Ariel, tatanong ko sa inyo ito, no? Kasi nga, nandyan yung China, yung Malaysia, problema natin, no? Would it be safe to say na merong mga People's Liberation Army operatives in the Philippines?
Marami na ako naririnig na meron daw.
Okay.
Pero
as a soldier, tingin nyo?
May kasi dahil di ba? Nakapagpadala nga tayo ng mga estudyante na doon sa kanila.
Okay.
So hindi natin masabi na yung mga pinapadala or na hindi rin di ba? So it's really ang payo ko lang dapat talaga mo-monitor lang ng maigi.
Oo.
Kasi it's really
hindi madali.
It's probably true.
Okay. I'll go back to your family life. I understand you have a son who is also in PMA or already graduated from PMA.
Yeah, he belongs to class PMA 2011.
He took this on his own. He saw you, got enamored with the uniform, decided to become also a PMA cadet.
I was in Tanay.
Okay.
In 2007.
Yan yung nakulong kayo for 4 years.
Yes.
Okay.
And then he approached me, sabi niya, Dad, I'm going to PMA.
How did that feel like?
I was worried kasi syempre di ba pagka brat ka or ikaw pinapahirapan ka
Oo.
And to my surprise, pagka nagbabakasyon siya, nasa PMA na siya, kasama niya yung mga upper class niya, kasama niya yung mga tactical officers niya.
Because they wanted to meet you also. Okay. So, it became positive.
Yeah, positive naman.
Okay.
Na nung graduate ka siya, sabi nung superintendent sabi niya, Ariel, your son ba, yan ang pambaron ko
Okay.
Yeah. Pero naging battalion commander, naging regimental commander yata, regimental staff.
Okay.
Magandang katawan, saka siguro improvement of the race.
Improvement of the race. Do you get worried?
Yes, of course. He was twice wounded in Marawi, no?
Okay. Following, yeah. Maybe you should tell him not to follow your example.
Well, nga siya, he was given the Glock by President Duterte.
Okay.
When his team, Force Recon team, neutralized 8 Abu Sayyaf in Look, Sulu.
Okay.
Accounted for the 8 bodies and then 8 firearms.
Uh-huh.
Very rare yung
recover
ka ng Abu Sayyaf na gano'n.
Ano pakiramdam ng isang, hindi lang ng isang sundalo, hindi lang ng isang opisyal? How does it feel as a father?
Ganon. We're all worried. And sabi sa akin ni Paul, my wife, sabi niya, Dad, why don't you pull him out, assign him to your
friendly
cabinet secretary or a general yan. Ang sabi ko, Mami, don't meddle in
their affairs,
in their life.
Kasi pabayaan mo sila.
Yeah, later on, pagka nagkaroon ng problema sila, sisisihin ka.
You have a lot of children, many of them have all graduated, they're professionals.
I have 2. One is in 4th year management engineering, about to graduate in Ateneo, and then the second one is 5th year in ECE sa UP naman.
Okay.
So hopefully,
this will be your additional medals in life.
Yeah, all my awards pale in comparison with
to
what
your children.
I have accomplished as a father.
That's very important.
Yeah.
That's very important. What advice have you given them that you want them to always remember? That you would like to be remembered?
Well, I always tell them kasi na even my son who's in the service, no, there is life after the service, provided you maintain a good name.
Uh-huh.
So I always tell them, maintain a good name.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Does the family name Kirubin, has it helped their careers? Has it been a boon, a bane? Which one?
Honestly, I still want to ask them about that because, you know, with what I've been through.
Wala pang consensus yan.
Oh, wala pa naman sila ano. But I think they're happy with me. I mean, they're happy having a rebel dad or having a multi-awarded dad. I think they're happy naman.
Are you a grandfather already?
Malapit na.
Are you looking forward to being a grandfather?
Yes. Kasi pag meron na akong apo, hindi na raw ako magte-train ng aso.
You're looking forward to...
Yeah,
Is any of your children a candidate for you to become now promoted to a grandfather?
Yeah, yung Marines.
Yung Marines na?
Na close in ni President.
Okay.
Yeah, his wife, I heard, nakita ko doon sa 10 weeks na.
10 weeks na.
So we're all looking forward to it. Everybody's excited.
Aha.
Mas lalo kami na lolo at lola.
Are you able to spend more time now with your family? I mean, given that you're no longer in the service.
Yes.
Aha. Do you get together weekends, you know, like every other Filipino family?
I honestly believe that when God took away my freedom, jolted me into my senses, and probably said, Ariel, career is not everything in life. You look at your children. So when I was sidelined for 4.5 years, I came to realize the real meaning of unconditional love.
Okay.
When some of my friends deserted me, it was my family who stood by.
Jose Rizal was a conscious, according to some historians, was a conscious hero. Was Ariel Kirubin a conscious hero? I mean, you really molded your life to become a hero? Or did you just want to be a soldier?
No, I just want to be a soldier. In fact, that Medal of Valor, I was telling them, I've been doing that time and paulit-ulit na lang to eh. Ang maari lang yung mga nauna ko, tinatago ko yung ulo ko. Ito, nilalabas ko yung ulo ko.
If you're going to say thank you to somebody in your family, was it your grandfather, your grandmother, or your father, mother, your wife, who would be the first in line? Gusto mo pasalamatan?
My wife.
Your wife?
Yeah,
okay.
My wife. Kasi I was an absentee father, and she was really there.
Uh-huh.
She was, nagulat nga ako paglabas ko, marunong na magaling na mag-English yung mga anak ko eh.
Okay.
When I left, Tagalog lang naman din sila, nagsasalita.
Mm-hmm.
And the credit should be given to her.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi even when I was sidelined and they were doing everything to render me irrelevant. It was my wife who stood by me, who took the cudgels for me.
Okay. Last 10 seconds. Kung may director or pelikula or teleserye who would like to make your life a teleserye, would you be open to it?
Well, I've been approached several times.
Uh-huh.
Even in 1994, when my first wife was alive, Armida Sigonreina and Toto Natividad brokered. I mean, we talked about having a biopic. But it didn't materialize kasi namatay nga si Doktora.
Okay.
And then, hindi rin talaga magmamaterialize kasi love story yun. All my life kasi action eh.
Okay. So on that note, we'd like to thank Colonel Ariel Oliva Kirubin, Philippine Navy Marines, for the time spent. This won't be the last time. We'll get back to him, and then hinaot na kapupubog mga gagmay mga impormasyon para mas mailhan nato ni si Colonel Ariel ug unsa pang mga lain natong pwede natong i-diskusyon ug ituki sa sunod nga higayon. So Colonel Kirubin, thank you very much for the time you spent. Mauni si Eric Espina para sa atong Politics and Beyond. Sa susunod nga gula, huwatan na po. Thank you.